in terms of going into the competition. He made reference to the fact that he feels as though he's in the best place he's been at as a Celtic manager going into the competition at this stage, just due to the fact that, you know, in his first spell he had to go through qualifiers. Last year there was no qualifiers when he came back, but obviously he was trying to make the bed back into the, you know, get the new team working the way he wanted it. Obviously he said that was going to take time. We saw last season the evidence of that it took time. Celtic were almost learning on the hop last year during the group stage. The team was never really firing until the last sort of 3 months of the season, but they're in good shape now, and I think he's very, very happy. Well, he's obvious he's very, very happy. He says himself that he's really excited that they're going in just the right frame of mind and form.
I think, Swanee, it's kind of what we've been talking about over the last few days. This time last year, he was saying a lot about I need quality. He was let down in the transfer window. Everything's gone right for him in terms of this transfer window, and he's going into this. I think he's feeling relaxed because this time he realises he is properly tooled up for it. He is properly tooled up to try and make a mark in the Champions League, but also to stay dominant domestically. I think that's what's given him his comfort level. He really feels as if he's got the squad and got the quality that he's been crying out for all this time.
And also the rhythm in the team. Keith, if you think back to this time 12 months ago, Celtic were chopping and changing. It was, you know, they signed the Lewis Palmer on the last day of the window. Other guys came in on the last day of the window. They weren't really gelled. And it's strange because the team has been in such good rhythm and everything's been so smooth that when they made signings on the last day of the summer transfer window this time, those guys were easily integrated into it because everything else is working fine. You know how difficult it is when you're signing to get pitched into a team when it's not flowing. So, but the new lads that have come in, Engels and McCowan, obviously, Austin Trusty and Alex Bye haven't had a chance yet because of the former Liam Scales and Greg Taylor, but the two boys that have come in at the middle of the park, and you could probably argue Adam Ida as well, since he's had his chances, he's getting up to speed too. So they're just coming into a team with rhythm, and that's the important thing. There's no pressure to put them in there. You know, Celtic he wanted quality, he got quality, but am I going to be right in saying this? Yeah, I think you would have fancied Celtic against Slovan Bratislava 2 days before the transfer window closed, before they got those guys. And now they got those guys well on top of it. So
You're talking about his midfield there, Swanee. What's the midfield going to look like tomorrow night, do you think? You'll make changes for the weekend? How do you see that trio in there?
My own personal view would be I'd be pretty surprised. We all know Callum McGregor's going to play, of course, first name on the team sheet. Listen, nobody's guaranteed a game of football, but I would be pretty surprised if you break your club transfer record for an £11 million midfield player from the Bundesliga to not play him in the Champions League. And Arne Engels was terrific against Hearts at the weekend, so I would imagine he'll play. And then people seem to think it's a choice between Paolo Bernardo and Rio Hatate for the third spot in there. And I would suggest that although Paolo Bernardo was very good in the game against Rangers prior to the international break, Rio Hatate does have a bit of magic in there and can do things that are exquisite. I would imagine it would be the same starting three as against Hearts. But again, this is something that Keith has alluded to, we've all alluded to. The difference now is it's a Paolo Bernardo waiting to come, because I don't think it's been cruel on Rio Hatate to say that sometimes you get 60-65 minutes, a wee bit of fizz goes out of him. On some occasions, I think we have seen that. You've got Luke McCowan and Paolo Bernardo ready to step into the breach if that's the situation. So I would suggest the same midfield three as last Saturday against Hearts.
I'd be astonished if it was anything but that, Swanee. And I think key to that is, as you said, what was your phrase? As smooth as silk. From the Belgian and Engels here. And I think that he maybe got that game time just to see, because if there was going to be any delay in fitting into the jigsaw, then you might have looked at Bernardo in this game. But the fact is, he's come in, he's been so impressive. I'd be astonished if he doesn't start. I'd also be astonished if Hatate didn't start as well. So I think that is the three, and I think it's a great three.
And also, Bernardo's a great option for the bench just in terms of the energy that he brings, because you think about tomorrow night, it's going to be a high-intensity game. No, you'd expect Celtic to fly out the traps, try and go for Slovan's throats early. So as you touched on, Swanee, if Hatate or even Engels looks as if they're running out of gas 65 minutes, Bernardo's a brilliant option because he gives you real energy, real drive in the middle of the park, and that quality that we know he's got.
Do you know?
What he also can do, Scott, is he's got composure. So
yeah,
in the perfect scenario for Celtic, they're maybe 1 goal up, 2 goals up, 3 goals up. Who knows? He can keep the ball. He's not just about energy. He's got technical ability. He can keep it. He's not going to panic. So
well, see
the options.
See on that, Swanee. See if you were Paolo Bernardo, I think I'd be pretty disappointed. I mean, as you say, he was outstanding against Rangers, really good. That felt like a watershed moment for him, with Matt O'Reilly being away. And now he's probably going to be back in the bench again. I get Engels looks brilliant, and he's record signing, but if I was Bernardo, I'd be a wee bit hacked off that I'm out the team again.
Yeah, I think you just have to understand that it's competition for places and you come to a big club and it's going to be tough to get in. I mean, that's just, nobody can expect to play. I mean, Arnie Engels can't expect to play. If Arnie Engels hadn't really shone on Saturday, then maybe there was a decision to make. And listen, I don't know. Maybe Brendan Rodgers will bench Arnie Engels. I very much doubt it, but we don't know for certain what it's going to be. Listen, the amount of games that Celtic are going to play this season, and I only need to refer you back to last season's campaign when Celtic played Lazio. Rio Hatate lasted 7 minutes?
Yeah.
So, forgive me if it was Lazio or Atletico Madrid. Whatever one it was, Hatate was injured after 7 minutes.
I think it was Lazio,
right after Kyogo had scored the opening goal and Hatate had to come off. Bernardo was straight into the game. He's going to get loads of chances to play. How often do you manage to keep your first pick, if it is a first pick 11, how often do you manage to keep that fit for a full season? You never do.
And that's the beauty of good squad management, and Brendan Rodgers is fairly expert at it. He knows, and these guys will all be told, you all have a burden to share over the course of this season. It's an extended Champions League campaign. There's a whole bunch of domestic matches to play. They're trying to win a domestic treble. Everybody will have their share of game time in this team.
I think that's what Rodgers is brilliant at. You're saying about Bernardo maybe be disappointed, Daniel. See if he's left out the team. I think Brendan Rodgers will somehow still make him feel like the most important guy at Celtic. That's to me what Brendan Rodgers is brilliant at, and as the boys have touched on, there's got to be so many games. I said this the other week when we were getting asked about Greg Taylor and Alex Valle coming in, who was going to play. There'll be so many games. I think both of them will get adequate game time this season. He'll be able to chop and change when you've got.
That was the whole point. That's the whole point of building this squad the way that Rodgers wanted it built.
Yeah. Scott, there's a phrase that a lot of managers use, and Brendan Rodgers has used it himself. The team that finishes the game is almost as important as the team that starts it. And at Champions League level, that is a big thing. Yeah. Because as we spoke about, you can't run out of legs in the last half an hour. You'll be picked off by quality teams. That can't happen. When the Celtic lose, they're running against injury time. So he'd be saying to Paolo Bernardo and Luke McCowan and Adam Eder, be ready, boys. Because the last half an hour, you really need to come in and you really need to step it. Be right on it from the minute you get on the pitch. So they all feel part of it. Everyone feels part of it. It's not so much a team now, it's a squad, and I'm pouring out cliches here, but it is.
Aye.